It said I was going to die at 81.
That's good.
Pretty good. In a drive-by shooting.
So I was telling you, I have to go into the office 3 days a week now, which I love. I love going in.
For the record.
I love going in 3 days a week and getting up at 7 a.m., leaving my apartment at 8:30, traveling for an hour.
Because you got to walk Betty in the morning.
Totally. Traveling for an hour on a train where it's so crowded that somebody's dick is on my shoulder the whole time.
Yeah.
And then getting into the office where... much like how they torture the prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, it's bright fluorescent lighting, no windows, and freezing cold.
What? You don't have windows?
No windows. Actually, we sat near the windows and then they moved us away from the windows and put other people there.
Yeah.
I love that.
Allie's stressed, everybody.
I love my life. It's so sick. I love not having a single thing in my life that brings me any joy.
Yeah. But
it's so
like
fun.
every moment filled.
Every moment filled.
Yeah.
I got home. You know what? I fucking got home on Thursday night and I was so tired that I couldn't even play Animal Crossing because it felt like work.
You didn't get to see Herb.
I didn't get to see Sherb.
Sherb. I knew I was wrong.
You know what? Herb is like a real name.
Yeah.
Sherb isn't.
And it's not even herb. It's Herb.
Anyway, it's just really cool that in an office you can do whatever you want if you have kids, but if you just want to have a work-life balance,
that's true.
It's against the
I
law.
always think, I've told you this.
Yeah.
I try and think this way with comedy. I'm like, I'm leaving at 5 because every person in the office who has a kid leaves at 5 or earlier. Yeah. Because they have a kid.
Totally.
And I have this other thing.
I'm going to have
that
a kid.
People don't respect, but it's my thing.
Totally. I'm going to have a kid just so I can fucking leave work early.
Yeah.
It'll make my life easier if I can leave work early and I have a child I have to take care of.
People will be gone for like 3 hours in the middle of the day.
Yes.
For kid stuff.
Totally. And then they're like, I have to bring him a poster board.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck your kid. I don't give a shit. If you're going to say fuck my dog. Anyway, I've been getting way too comfortable in the office because I'm there all the time and it feels like torture. And we were talking about the dead hamsters thing. Because,
on our last step.
Yeah. We're talking about the dead hamsters thing. And I got the idea for that post because we were talking about, everybody in the office started talking about how their hamsters died. And I was like, I remember this Reddit thread.
Yeah.
And I won't go into the story now.
It's always a heart attack, by the way, if you haven't had a hamster.
Totally.
We read the post, all heart attacks.
Yeah. And everybody's...
From loud sounds.
Yeah.
From, what was the other heart attacks for?
Eating
Getting
all of its
stuck in a tube.
Eating all of its babies.
Eating all of its food because it pretended it didn't have food.
Yeah.
And the owners just overfed it.
Yeah.
But all heart attacks. So that's what you're looking forward to.
Totally.
Or this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to say it because it's like my story for the day. But I'll say another thing that I said in the office because it got too comfortable. We were talking about headphones and like my coworker was like, oh, my AirPods are like dying. It's so fucking annoying. And I'm like,
also great office conversation.
I know. It's because like you can't talk about anything real in the office because then you'll get HR'd or whatever. But like we were talking about headphones and I was like, oh yeah, I like the noise canceling, blah, blah, blah. That's why I don't have AirPods. And then she's like, oh, aren't you afraid that like you're going to get murdered on the street if you can't hear stuff? And I was like, I'd welcome it. And then I went to the bathroom for like 45 minutes.
Oh man.
So I could vape and look at pictures of my dog.
React?
She was like, it's because like,
okay, send me that Excel sheet. Whenever
because like everybody in my office is like a normal, sweet person. And then I have like a dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I called the push-ups on your knees girl push-ups the other day, and people were like,
"You can't say that.
There has to be another name for that." And I was like, "All right, you could suck my fucking cock, dude." Also, I'm a girl.
All right, easy push-ups. That's why we called them girl push-ups.
Yeah.
In the first place.
I'm like, you want me to call them like little bitch push-ups? Is that what you want me to fucking say?
You know what's funny? What we're doing right now? We're like, but the history, we have to keep the history.
I know, yeah.
Which is the same argument for like people we don't identify with.
It's like
we're
the same.
You have to keep all the statues.
Yeah. It's the same reason why people keep up Confederate statues.
Yeah.
But I will keep calling them girl push-ups.
I'll call them girl push-ups.
But you should take down the Confederate statues.
Yeah.
I think that's where the line is.
That's where my line's at as well. When it makes my personal life easier,
totally,
I'll keep it.
Also, here's the thing. I'm gonna keep talking. I feel like, okay, maybe this is wrong. Tell me if you think this is wrong. I'm going to make fun of women ironically
Yeah.
In the way that men have made fun of me my entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like when people are like, you shouldn't say that about women. You know what I mean?
Because it's not that you believe it. It's you're saying what we already...
a joke about it.
You're making a joke about the way we treat women.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And how like every woman's been treated.
Yeah.
Like John Mulaney's, I was talking about this with Dave this morning. Like John Mulaney's ex-wife, she wrote a memoir that sucks because she's like a rich, like artsy girl who's never had any consequences. And she wrote a book called Men Have Called Her Crazy. And I'm like, first of all, every woman has been called crazy by a man. So it's like...
If you haven't, I would just think you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like you didn't want to believe it or something.
Yeah. And she's like, I've been called crazy by men. And I'm like, yeah, we all have.
That's
it's just
what
such a white lady
called?
thing to do. Yes. It's such a white lady, I'm a victim thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a like white feminist thing to do and be like, I'm being attacked. Because you've never had any like actual real like issues in your life.
Because that's like the baseline of what happens. And then most people have had a lot of other experiences way worse.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've had a chair thrown at me.
The minimum you've been called crazy.
Men have thrown chairs at her.
Yeah.
Is the name of mine. Men have thrown chairs at her.
That's the title of this episode. Men have thrown chairs at her with Allie O'Neill.
Dude, that picture you posted on Instagram once for one of our things of the chair flying through the air.
I'll repost it for this.
Please repost it because it's so funny. I was just like, because we don't talk about what's going to be posted most of the time. And so I just get tagged in a post. And then it's like a picture of like a frog and then a picture of like a basketball and then like a chair being thrown through the air.
It's in the sky, high up.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and it almost looks like the sky's like pretty, like it's a nice sunset.
Yeah, it's like a gorgeous city sunset, and then like a chair, like a shooting star. It's really crazy.
Yeah. Wait, Brittany, you do the Instagram posts?
Yeah.
Wow, you're so good at Instagram.
What, is that sarcastic?
No,
that's how it feels.
I honestly thought it was Allie the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
How is it good? I picked stupid pictures from Google Images.
It's just kind of fucked up and chaotic. It's really good.
Okay, you know what, Maxim? We actually discussed this at length when we started the podcast. We were like, every episode, we are posting a carousel of shit that doesn't make sense.
It's just like random stuff from the episode.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, it'll get people to like see it and then like want to listen to our episodes.
But I don't think nobody sees it except Maxim, apparently.
Yeah.
Nobody likes
Thank you, Maxim.
You tagged the studio account in the stories.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we forced him to see it.
Yeah, I know. And he's
that's the only way it's being seen.
That's true.
If you want to be tagged in the carousel, let us know. We'll tag you.
We'll tag you. We'll tag
welcome
anybody.
To Worthless Clowns.
Yeah, welcome to
also. This podcast are how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Brittany's Cardwell on Instagram.
And I'm Allie O'Neill, aka corporate prisoner. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Allie O'Neill. If anybody is giving away free lobotomies, I'd love that because then I'd finally start enjoying my life if I just had no thoughts or feelings anymore.
This is fun, but we are going to talk about this after the pod. It's fun for the next 35 minutes, and then it gets real with us, Allie. I'm like threatening you.
Get everyone
to talk about your feelings.
Get yourself a friend like Brittany who's like, I can tell that you're joking, and I can also tell that you mean it.
Man, so this is related. Probably like, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. I think it was during the pandemic. Maybe right after, or like as things were coming back a little. But I was doing a lot of this kind of humor where I was like, haha, like really dark on my stories all the time. But because I was so immersed in whatever I was going through, I actually just thought it was really funny. And it was.
Yeah.
I did have some friends being like,
is everything
your stories
okay?
have been a little dark lately. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then I get story memories now. And I'm like, what the hell? If I was not in it, if I had seen it from this perspective at that time, I would have been like, whoa.
Yeah, like if you saw a friend doing it, you'd be like, these are funny, but checking in.
Yeah.
Checking in. God, that's so funny.
So
what are your updates? Tell me about your life that feels good.
I don't even know if it feels good. It's a sad episode, guys. I think I've been pretending to feel better.
Yeah.
No, not really. I don't know.
You're dressed like a cartoon character today.
I feel like that.
It's like a really good
bright.
outfit, but it also looks like a Nickelodeon cartoon character.
It does. Bright orange top. The pants look fake. They look cartoon because they have because they're so blue and they have like the stitching in white.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it look like a
illustration. Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks for noticing. That's what I was going for.
Cartoon character?
No, I hate when I look like a cartoon character. I feel like it's so easy for me because I already feel like people think of me as a cartoon.
Okay.
I don't know where that comes from, but...
Wait, me and Dave were having a conversation last night where we were like, what animal do you think you are spiritually?
Yeah. Haven't we done this on the pod? No, we said what dog. Okay, so what animal?
Oh no, we're doing animals again. Well, I was like, I think spiritually, like in my bones, who I am as a human, I'm a opossum because they're like a little scary, a little creepy. Yeah. And they're always like, you know? Yeah. But then like, and people are always like, oh, they're gross. They're always in the trash. And I feel like that's what people think of me. But then I'm like, they're in the trash because they're adapting. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're adapting to their environment. Yeah. And then also they're like low-key cute.
And they're seeing value where other people don't see it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think that people view me as like...
What was the last thing you said? What?
They're low-key cute. Like, cute. If you really look at them, you're like, oh, they're cute.
They are cute. Yeah. But I think every animal's cute.
That's true. Me too. So. Yeah. Except for doodles.
They're kind of annoying.
Yeah, they look like a guy in a fursuit.
They're annoying looking, like visually.
They have like human eyes, dude. Ugh. They're disgusting.
Oh my God, have you seen this? Look at this.
What is it?
This is pretty terrifying. I saw this post on Instagram, and it's like if you know how you get an ultrasound when you're pregnant, but if they did that with fMRI where it shows everything in a lot of detail.
Oh, I've seen these. Did you see
this?
Yeah, and it's like...
And you can just see too much humanness of the baby, but it looks alien because it's like, it's not ready to be seen yet. So it looks so crazy. I will post this on the carousel as well. It's going to look even more chaotic. Wait, look at this.
Oh,
isn't that awful?
Oh my God.
Its eyes are like bulging. Its brain's not fully developed, so it looks all mushy and weird.
It's also like if you could see through people's skin and you saw their like eyeballs and their jaw and their brain, it would be creepy enough. But then it's like a baby, so it's like proportions are off.
And you can see his little hand like reaching out at you.
Yeah. And he's like, Mommy.
I think they don't show this to people because more people would want to get an abortion. That was my first thought, and I thought they were going to say that. That's how like realistic I thought that was.
That's so funny. Oh my God. The alt-right is like, we can't show people this. We can't show people what babies actually look like.
Show them the cute, vague version.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The one where you imagine that it looks like you and not like this.
Totally. Even though every white baby looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
And only white ones, by the way. Like I've never seen, like, I feel like babies of color, they look different from one another, but every white baby looks exactly the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Is that crazy of me to say?
No, I think you're mostly right. I'm just trying to think like I think the reason they look the same is probably because they all seem bloated.
Yeah.
And
totally.
I don't know.
And they're all just like
that doesn't
pink.
Explain any of it.
Yeah.
Here's an update.
Oh, okay. Lay it on me.
On the way here, I saw there was this apartment building and there were too many birds around it. And it looked crazy.
I really want to know how many birds is too many birds for Brittany Cardwell. You did.
I did.
Oh, good.
I was like, that's too many birds. So I stopped and looked at it.
Brittany,
it looked
too many
crazy.
Birds, Cardwell.
It's like an apartment building that's for a bunch of birds. They were filling up all the windows. They were flying around in this big cloud. There were a bunch of birds on the top ring. Yeah. It's like where all of the birds went today in New York. It was like a bird conference was going on or something.
They're having a bird meeting.
Bird meeting. So here's a video. Look at this. This is crazy. I mean, I think what's going on is someone is feeding these birds from their window, but you couldn't even see that happening. And the window appeared to be shut. Why can't I open this?
The way that you
Too
talk
many
about-
birds.
You're also like, the window appeared to be shut. Oh my God, that's so
Look at
many
all
birds.
these up here.
Whoa.
They're all circling around.
Where was
and then
this?
there kept being these big plumes of birds. This is like, I don't know, like 10-minute walk away or something. It's on my way here. Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot of birds.
Like, that's probably like
I know where that is. That's a funeral
birds.
home. It's on Bushwick, right?
Why is this happening? It's scarier that it's at a funeral home.
I know.
That's awful. How could this be?
Yeah, it's like Thomason Funeral Home or something. It's like
Was
it's on
this like
Bushwick
the
Ave.
best bird dude in New York died? And they all came to pay
the
respects.
lady who threw out seeds at the park died, and they all came for her wake. Yeah.
Oh, because also that's the other thing is it didn't feel like they were eating, even though I was like, there must be something.
Yeah, there must be a reason for them to go there. Yeah.
But they're all piled up on these two. Maybe that's where the funeral's upstairs.
Yeah, or maybe Mike Tyson lives there. He loves pigeons.
Oh,
Mike
Tyson
Tyson,
know that.
he loves. There's
That's
like a
so cute.
documentary about how he loves
What?
pigeons. Yeah, Mike Tyson, and he's like, I love my pigeons or whatever. I'm gonna punch them in the head.
Man. So
I don't think that's a speech
I gotta
impediment.
find out about these birds. I'll try and read about it. I bet it's not. I bet there's nothing I can find out.
Yeah,
There's just
what are you
so
gonna look
many.
up? Be like, why
I'm
were
gonna
there
look
so
up
many
bird
birds?
conference, Bushwick Ave, or wherever I was.
Bushwick. Oh God,
I don't know. That's my main update. And then I was also just tired this week. This week was a blur.
Yeah.
And I slept till 2:00 today.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I made up for it all.
Yeah. That's great.
I guess I feel better, but we'll see.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Also, every time I sleep in, I slept until like 1:30 last weekend, and I felt worse.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel guilty when I sleep in.
I always feel guilty. There's only sometimes when I can convince myself. Like last night, I didn't want to go to the games night because I was so tired and I was like, I can't have more social interactions.
Totally.
So because I knew that I wanted to go to bed last night, but I didn't, I was like, okay with sleeping till 2. Because I was too social the whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had a lot of spots. They were good and I need them.
Totally.
And it's all... Because like filming the special coming up, I reached out to a ton of people about doing spots. And I feel like everything happened in this week.
Dude, that's what happens to me too.
Yeah.
Whenever I reach out for spots, they all happen in the same week.
Yeah. And then I'm like, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah, I know.
I was like so stressed all week.
But it's also weird to ask. And then they're like, what about this day? And you're like, oh, could I do it next week? Like it's hard to, it feels weird to ask about, like to change it.
Yeah.
You know?
But should we go into our stupid stories?
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you should go first.
All right. Let's see. We got a lot of time. We're here till 5:45. Is that right?
Yes.
What the hell?
What do you mean?
I feel like we've already been on for a long time.
Oh, it's been dragging?
No, it's not dragging.
It's been dragging, me talking about how I hate my life.
I don't know.
Brittany, fuck you.
It's not dragging. I loved the...
Maybe because you got all excited about the birds.
I think that was it. I was like, it's over.
And you like blacked out and you're like, what day is it? You came to after thinking about the birds and you're like, oh, what day is it? This podcast got to be over. I wasted all my energy on being excited about the birds.
I'll do a longer story then since we have time. Actually, no, I'm going to do this one. So I went to Toronto one time. You been there?
No, I've never been to Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Huh. They don't let people like me in.
Yeah. Wait, who was it that gets turned away? Oh, it's Sean Patton.
Oh yeah, Sean Patton gets turned away.
Problem with getting into Canada.
Yeah,
I forget what it is.
I think he like got a like some minor thing related to being drunk. Oh, I think he told us this story and he accidentally brought a knife in his bag.
Yeah.
And so now in Canada, they're like, you can't come in here.
They really over interrogate him. He has to get some special thing, I think, in order to go there. I forget.
You know how like Republicans think of like Mexican people coming across the border where they're like, they're all criminals and that's why they're coming here. That's what Canada thinks of us.
That's what Canada thinks of just Sean Patton.
No, also all Americans
of us,
probably. And Sean Patton.
Yeah.
But remember when have you heard this story? You know Graham Kay? He's from Canada. And he one time he accidentally punched a cop and he had to go back to Canada.
How did he accidentally punch a cop?
Because somebody was like yelling at his friend who is also a comic and they were like a plainclothes police officer.
Oh.
And then he like got in a fight with them and then he found out they were a cop. That actually happened to my great-grandfather and he killed himself.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, it's a story.
He killed himself because he punched the cop?
He accidentally killed a cop because there was a fight in his bar.
Oh, you told me this.
Yeah.
I didn't think I knew it was a cop.
Yeah. Well, no, the story that you're thinking of because you did this, that was my friend from high school's dad who went to prison for it. But my great-grandfather on my dad's side, he accidentally killed a cop because there was a fight in his bar and he punched him too hard. And then he was a immigrant from Poland, so he killed himself because he was afraid of getting...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's awful. Oh. And then the other guy, just for the listeners, the other guy who punched somebody, they got in trouble because they punched them and part of their nose went to the guy's brain.
There's like a specific we should ask the Bone Museum this.
Yeah. We're going to the Bone Museum right after this.
Yeah. It's in the same building and it's a museum of bones, dude. It's so sick. And we're going to try to form a relationship with the Bone Museum.
Yeah.
Also, every time I see the sign outside, I send it to Dave and I'm like, you're the fucking Bone Museum. But anyways.
But the bone...
Oh, the bone of your nose, if you like hit it correctly, it can break and go into your brain and kill you. And that happened to my friend from high school's dad, and he was in prison for a bunch of years. But it was manslaughter.
Oh, God.
Manslaughter, don't worry.
You know,
Third degree.
I thought of this bone thing when I got punched by the umbrella in my nose. There's no way it was hard enough.
Man,
but I
love
was
that you're
I could have died.
You're like, I thought of this bone thing.
God, what if I died from being punched in the nose by an umbrella?
That would be so embarrassing.
I know.
I wouldn't tell anybody what happened to you.
I feel like I'm going to die in an embarrassing way.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, what would be the story? Like, how
I feel like you're going to die because... Here, let's do this.
Well, I've actually asked the internet a long time ago. The first time I asked how am I going to die and when, you know, it's like deathclock.com or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they still do this, but it said I was going to die at 81.
That's good.
Pretty good. In a drive-by shooting. That's what I was told.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like you would die probably like you would probably like trip over something because there was like a horse nearby and you were looking at it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like there would be like
it's just gonna be a dumb mistake.
There would be like a bunch of goats that you try to pet and then you get shocked by the electric fence and die.
Uh-huh. Man, I'm scared of myself sometimes because I do make mistakes like that. Remember when I rented that car and we got a flat tire? Mm-hmm. There was at one point when me and Maggie were sitting in the car waiting for the tow guy or whatever, and the engine was on. I had the emergency brake on and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was doing, but like I think I had to turn around to get something in the back.
Yeah.
And I put my foot out to like give me some.
And you put it on the gas?
I put it on the gas.
Yeah.
And the car went, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine if I didn't have the emergency brake on.
I know, yeah.
That would have been insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm always doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it hasn't yet turned into anything, but.
Yeah. No, there's.
That's like
I don't think this is real wood.
Like Blake shadowboxing.
I know.
In the shower.
I know,
and getting a toothbrush stuck down his throat. I'm thinking about that most days now, too.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway, my story.
You went to Toronto.
Oh my God. This pod is so weird.
This is so crazy.
Yeah. So I went to Toronto for like a work conference years ago and we did some of the tourist stuff. And do you so you know how you can do these like simulations where it's like you're in a plane and you go into a box and the box moves around.
Yeah.
They're probably way better now than when I was like a kid, but I loved those things so much.
Yeah, okay. Would you consider the video games in an arcade where you're like in a chair driving one of those? Because I've never done one like you're describing.
It's just more, it's like a better simulation than that. Like
it's
you're
like
in a
more
box
intense, yeah.
And it moves you around a lot.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're in space and whatever.
Yeah.
Or
I've never been in one, but I feel like
you're landing an airplane. And they're like pretty cool because it feels like it's really happening.
Yeah.
They have all the movements set up.
And it like jerks the box around so it feels like you're doing it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they had one of those for this like Mount St. Helens eruption thing that I went to as a kid. Oh my God. First of all, they should make one after every tragedy. They should make a 9/11 one.
9/11 simulation.
You're on the plane and you have to kill the guy with a box cutter.
Dude, I was just in a 9/11 simulation.
It should be Flight 93.
Yeah.
Where you have to crash the plane in order to keep it from crashing into the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I had a dream the other night where I was in 9/11. It was right after 9/11.
Wow.
Let me tell you this real quick.
That's extremely American of you.
Yeah. It was, 9/11 was a couple weeks ago or whatever.
9/11 or whatever was a couple of weeks ago. Never forget, I guess.
And it was the day after, like the night of, I went to sleep. And in the dream, I was in the World Trade Center. Or like what's the new building called? One World Trade?
Yeah.
Or whatever. I was in
Freedom Tower.
Is that what it's called?
That's what they call it, the Freedom Tower.
Freedom Tower. That's right.
Because everything in America is so fucking hack.
Freedom fries.
Yeah.
What was the other freedom thing we came up with the other day?
I forget.
It's like, I don't know. It had something, it was political.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I forget what it was.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm in the One Freedom
World
Tower.
Trade, yeah.
One World Trade. And I'm up at the top, and it's like I worked there or something, and everything was bright and fun. Everyone was really jovial, and that's because it was the day after 9/11, and everyone was like, whew,
we made it.
It didn't happen. If it was going to happen, it was going to be yesterday.
Yeah.
So everyone's at work like, we're alive. We're happy, right? And I'm in there and I'm like, yeah, this is a good day. You know, I appreciate my life. And then I'm looking out the windows and you start to just see like missiles coming towards and we're like, but it's 9/12. Like we were all like, this isn't fair. And then everyone's scared and we get hit, right? But before we get hit, I go with a group to an elevator and I'm like, we're probably dying, but there's a chance I'll like get low enough before we get hit and maybe I can make it down before everything like crumbles. Yeah. And I was imagining it happening exactly the same way as like actual 9/11.
Yeah. And
then I'm in the elevator and we're all like, are we going to die or are we going to live?
Yeah.
And then at some point I just feel the building like turn like on its side, like we're slowly falling all the way down. And I'm like, okay, I'm dying, ready to die.
I like that everybody in the office acted like 9/11 was like, they had an agreement with the terrorists similar to the Purge.
You can only do it on 9/11.
Yeah, where it's like there's one day of the year that we can have a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
All of the days are off limits.
Yeah.
And then they broke the agreement.
Yeah, and we were just mad.
The Purge, 9/11.
Anyway, we got to get to Toronto.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that was my 9/11 simulation. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I went to Toronto and we did some touristy activities and there was a simulation thing and I was so excited. I loved them.
Yeah.
Right? Me and a couple friends from the conference went but what was weird is the simulation, the simulation was of being a log. It was of being a log.
Oh, that's so cool.
And going through like being chopped up and then being sent to different like piles.
Getting chopped up.
It was so weird. But like, you know, you can't experience that in the simulation at all.
Yeah.
And also whose idea was this?
To be a log.
Just people want to know what it's like to be a log.
Dude, you know,
so you're just on it's like you're on a little roller coaster, but as a log, and you're just being sent to different areas.
It feels
like the weirdest simulation I've ever been in.
Have you ever seen the show How It's Made?
Yeah.
It's like being one of the things in How It's Made.
It was like that.
Because honestly, it kind of looks fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I get it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The log's just like, woo!
It's like, here I go. Uh-oh. Am I going into timber
What happens
plywood?
in this machine? Yeah. Am I going to the wood chipper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just crazy.
Sorry.
It's like, it felt like a joke simulation.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah. Weird, right?
What happened to you as the log? Do you remember?
You just start up high. It feels like you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You just start up high and then they're like, oh, this is this one area. But it feels like you just go there.
Yeah.
And you see what happens to other logs there, but things don't happen to you. Like you're just moving around.
Yeah.
It was a terrible simulation.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But I think they were trying to maybe like promote like industry of Toronto. But is that the industry? Why would they choose log? Here's what it's like to be a log.
That's so funny.
And I guess I paid a lot to do that. I just got excited about it being a simulation.
I mean, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would have done anything.
We should go do one of those.
Yeah.
We should find one in New York and
I would
do
love
it.
that.
What do you think the New York version? Well, 9/11. It would be
9/11.
The New York version of that would be 9/11.
Yeah. It would have to be. What else would it be?
I guess like there could be one where it's like you are trying to walk through Times Square.
Ugh.
And you're like, oh, there's a really like desperately homeless person.
Yeah.
But you're in a rush, so you can't look at
There's
him
a
because it'll make your day sad.
There's a guy in a Tony the Tiger costume trying to get a picture with you.
Yeah.
For
there's,
money.
Yeah, there's a guy who like looks like Elmo, but if you saw him in a dream.
Yeah.
So like a little bit fucked up.
Yeah.
There's like a huge Ukrainian family taking pictures.
Yeah.
There's the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh God, I hate it there.
There's
so
people
much.
at Caroline's trying to make you come to a stand-up comedy show. God.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Is that the end of the story?
I guess so. Pretty short, huh?
Yeah.
Good thing we talked about the 9/11 simulation.
I know.
Yeah, it's not a story. It's just the fact that they had that
It's
log
so
simulation.
cool, though. We should go back.
Oh, to Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And go to the log simulator.
Mm-hmm.
If we have any listeners in Toronto, can you please go?
Yeah, let us know if you've been to this simulation.
Or please go. Honestly, if you go to the log simulator and you take a video, I will pay for your ticket to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, I will do that because I need to see it.
I could probably find videos of it. I'll try and post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get into my story. So when I was younger, we had a dog named Miss Charlotte.
Yeah.
And she was like the sweetest, nicest
We've heard
dog.
of Miss Charlotte a few times.
Miss Charlotte
on the pod.
rules. She's great. But so one time me and my mom and my brother, we went on vacation somewhere. And so my dog, Miss Charlotte, stayed with my Aunt Mookie.
Mm-hmm.
And my Aunt Mookie is like, she's kind of like a space case a little bit.
Yeah.
She's like really sweet and really nice, but she like doesn't think about stuff. Like one time she flooded her house because she left the bathtub on too long. Like shit like that.
Yeah.
So she just like, sometimes things just like get away from her. And so she had bought, she also is like one of these people who is like so caring
Yeah.
that she will take on things in need
Uh-huh.
and then it'll like make her life like much more difficult, right?
Yeah.
So she was friends with the guy at the pet store and the guy at the pet store was like, this female guinea pig got into the male guinea pig enclosure and got pregnant.
Oh no.
And he's
How
like,
many do they have? Do you know?
well, this guinea pig ended up having like 6 or 7 babies.
Yeah.
So my Aunt Mookie was like, all right, fine, we'll take the guinea pig.
All of them?
Well,
the pregnant.
The pregnant one, yeah. And then the pregnant guinea pig had babies. So she just had like 8 to 10 guinea pigs.
gosh.
Because she already had guinea pigs.
Yeah.
So she had like, in my childhood, like 1 million guinea pigs.
That's so funny.
It was so weird. And also like guinea pigs, like, I guess they're kind of cute, but like.
Did they have calyx? I feel like they always had calyx.
They always have like weird little calyx, yeah. But like you can't touch them or cuddle them because they're so scared of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bunnies kind of have a personality, but guinea pigs are so scared that they like don't have a personality. So I didn't understand why my Aunt Mookie and my like cousins loved these guinea pigs so much, but it was because they're animals.
Wait, have you seen you know capybara?
Yes.
Have you seen these videos of them
Yes.
like just being too chill?
Yes.
Everywhere?
Just sitting in like they're just sitting in like a hot spring with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them. And they're just like,
Yeah.
I love them.
So cute.
They're so cute.
You could really hug those too. They're big enough, I feel like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, capybaras are just huge guinea pigs who have no natural predators, so they're not scared.
Yeah.
They're the world's largest rodents.
Yeah. Wait, did we see one when we went to the Indianapolis Zoo? No.
I don't think so.
We saw another big rodent, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, it was some other kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my Aunt Mookie, like nobody in my family had ever had a dog before my mom got us a dog. Like my whole family was like very strictly cat people.
Yeah.
And like when my mom got a dog, my uncle Jake was like, "You got a dog?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why?" Like that's how they are in my family. They're like, "Why'd you get a dog?"
Weird.
And then it's funny because like now me and my brother are such big dog people because we had a dog growing up.
Yeah.
But I love both cats and dogs, you know? I feel like people who are like, you either like cats or you like dogs are also like TERFs.
Yeah.
They're like, you're either a boy or a girl. That's it.
Yeah.
They like can't imagine a world where somebody has like a more complicated view of their sexuality or gender expression. But anyway, so my Aunt Mookie was watching Miss Charlotte for the weekend that we were away, and she was cleaning the guinea pig's cage.
Yeah.
and Miss Charlotte was like out and about, and the guinea pigs were just out of their cage.
Yeah.
And my Aunt Mookie is like, oh, I gotta go do something. And so she like goes downstairs for a minute, and she comes back, and Miss Charlotte had eaten like 6 of the guinea pigs.
Oh my God.
Like 8
oh
them
my
whole.
God. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then Mookie was like, oh my God, how could this have happened?
Yeah. That must have, though, like, I feel bad for the guinea pigs
Of
and
course.
for Miss Charlotte for her stomach, but it must have been the time of her life.
Dude,
She
totally.
probably thought that was all for her.
Or
she's like, it's not my birthday.
Or she was like, because like this is how Miss Charlotte was. She was probably just having dog instincts.
Yeah.
And she was like ripping through this family of guinea pigs and being like, why am I doing this? And why can't I stop?
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah, like she's learning about herself.
Yeah. She's like,
She didn't know she had that in her at all.
Like ripping them apart, just like complete like genocide of this family of guinea pigs, being like, I can't stop.
Did she seem, well, you weren't there, but do you know if she seemed confused after? Or like,
I think that she just
remorse?
Miss Charlotte, you know how you like look at a dog and you're like, there's a person in there?
Yeah.
Miss Charlotte was not one of these dogs.
Oh, really?
Miss Charlotte, the lights were on, but no one was home.
Oh, man.
She was just like old and fat her entire life. She lived for like 14 years and she was old the entire time. And then just like against her will, just ate a bunch of guinea pigs.
That's like, have you seen these? Maybe you showed me this or Dwayne showed me. I can't remember, but it's like these dogs who there's some like rat attacking. It's like dogs go and they get to attack rats on a farm or something.
I did not show
Okay,
you
I
this.
thought maybe this was a more common thing to have known about. I didn't know about it.
Or they're like dogs that are like, I think Jack Russell Terriers are, they're like,
I think it was them.
they're basically like bred to kill rats and like
Yeah.
vermin on a farm.
So there's, well, I've only seen one video, I guess, but it's a video of a bunch of these dogs on a farm. They're on a leash, but they're just like going after, wait, are they on a leash? Some of them, I guess, are. It doesn't matter. I think a lot of them were not on a leash. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
They're just going after these rats. They grab them and then they shake them once
Oh my
and
God.
they're dead. It's like very,
That's so cool.
yeah.
Have you seen that video? There's a guy, he's like walking down a trail and he has a Doberman off leash.
Mm-hmm.
And the Doberman's like running and like all excited. And the guy's like, hey. And the dog turns around. He's like, there's a snake over here. I can't walk past this. So the dog runs over, takes the snake, shakes it, flings it like yards up in the air. And he's like, got you, buddy.
That's so cute.
It's so cute. He like flings it. It's like literally like probably 100 feet in the air. Also, imagine how that snake felt.
Yeah, man, that's like an extreme version of when a dog just goes and gets its owner a beer. You know, it's like, here,
Yeah,
I'll
I guess
protect
there
you.
are similarities.
I'll remove all the threats.
There's
And then he's
similarities.
like, there you go.
Yeah, dude, I love.
The end is similar.
I just like love that dogs like will do any job.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen those like Belgian Malinois that like do bite training? And there's the guy with the huge fucking like mattress around his arm. And
I haven't seen this.
the dog's like they're doing bite training to like for like protection, and
Yeah.
the dog will like run up and they'll like bite on the big mattress thing.
Yeah.
And then like the people will like pick them up and swing them around, and then they'll be like release, and the dog will come back and be like dirt, that was so
Did it.
fun. It's so funny. They just anything is a job for them.
Man,
So sick.
are we ready for the post?
Yeah, I think we've talked about animals enough.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We
We should
gotta
do-
take a break.
We should do the beehole one,
Okay,
I think.
I'm down.
All right, cool.
All right, but sorry, I gotta scroll up to find this one.
No, it's all right. It's fine. I
Talk
get it.
amongst yourselves.
Do you guys want to hear about more animals? I took Betty to the park today.
Oh,
She had a great time. She was losing her mind. She's also been too afraid to walk,
Mhm.
and it's so annoying. That's another thing that's stressing me out. Is like I
There
take
it
my
is.
dog outside and then she won't fucking walk 'cause she's too scared.
Aw.
Like something happened where she like is regressing.
Oh no.
And so like I take her outside and she won't walk. And then I'll bring her back inside and she will be a terror
Oh man.
because she hasn't gotten any of her energy out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know. I think it's because my elevator was broken and it made a bunch of loud noises. And now she's
Oh.
like, she associates going outside with like this
Yeah.
scary thing. I don't know. It's nuts. Anyway.
Oh man. Today I fucked up by thinking my laser hair removal nurse was complimenting my asshole.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Obligatory, this happened a couple days ago, but I've only just psychologically recovered from my utter embarrassment. Man. So after lockdown ended in my country, there's been a huge sale at my local laser hair removal clinic. So I thought, fuck it, I might as well go for it. So I paid for my 10 visits and set off for the first one.
Set off.
Set off.
Like she's taking a ship somewhere.
Or like she's in a movie where there's like this big,
It's like the beginning of Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah. So I paid for my 10 visits. I set off, a little nervous, but excited for my new hairless body. She's doing full body?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we have pubes for a reason, honestly.
Yeah. But also it's like, I don't know. I don't care about my leg hair. It's so easy to shave.
Totally. I guess if you have like, I have pretty like light leg hair, but I think if you had like dark hair.
Mine's thick and dark.
But like, do you ever like, I guess like if you have really dark hair and like high contrast, like if you go like 2 days, then actually, it must be annoying to do like every day.
I had a friend in high school who had very, very thick hair, dark, and she had light skin. And she, even when she shaves, it's like you can still see it. Kind of.
That's what everybody in my high school was like because they were Portuguese. Every girl in my high school shaved their arms. Yeah, they all shaved their arms because they looked like Tony Soprano. Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so now I decided it would be a great idea to get a full Brazilian all the way from the front to back. Pretty normal, right?
Right?
Like, why is she acting uncertain? She seems so certain. And she's like, is that okay though?
Yeah. I need the whole front to back.
Yeah. Right? The lovely nurse comes in, gives me a brief heads up, explains how it all works kind of thing. So she leaves the room, leaving me just stripped down. She comes back in and decides we're going to laser the hair around my asshole first. All well and good, right?
This person needs so much validation.
Yeah, but also it's like some weird writing style where every paragraph ends with a question.
Yeah. Right?
Like, yeah.
So I walk in, right? And then I sit down, right? Take off my clothes.
Got it?
Take off my clothes. I put on the paper towel robe, right?
So the instructions I'm given are lay on your right side and use your left hand to pull up your bum cheek. Okay? So here I am laying on my side, hand pulling up my bum while this lady sticks a laser around my asshole. Now, on my left hand, I wear this gorgeous silver ring with a bright blue gem. It was handmade by my best friend's boyfriend, so it's pretty unique. Right? So this lady saw my gorgeous ring and decided to break the awkward silence with it. That's a cute ring you have there.
Oh.
And of course, I happened to forget I was wearing the damn ring. It just made sense in my head that this nurse was complimenting the ring of my asshole. This is so embarrassing. Did people really refer to it as a ring?
I could
imagine
it's in the shape
it as
of a ring,
but
okay. It's in the shape of a ring, you know?
Yeah, but no one calls it a ring, right?
I don't know. I'm sure people have.
Maybe if you're a butthole laser person,
or if you're like
call it whatever you want.
If you're a person who like regularly interacts with buttholes,
yeah, you call it a ring.
You might call it
like in the business.
Yeah.
You call it a ring.
You know.
Yeah.
Like oh, that guy, I was his ring last night when he was fingering you in the ass, you know?
Yeah. I guess.
I don't know.
I was talking about in the business in terms of like lasering.
Oh.
Yeah. Like technical.
Don't you have to put your finger up somebody's ass to laser their asshole though?
So I'm still on my side. I tell her, thank you. It'll be a lot nicer when it's hairless. LOL. So she thinks that, and then she like, you guys get it. Cue awkward laugh and then silence till I realize that she was not in fact talking about my bum. I feel like I would do this kind of thing too.
Yeah. This is how you die.
I finished the rest of the appointment without speaking and dashed out of there as soon as possible. Still recovering. Edit. For clarity. For everyone asking, this is the ring. It's not super intricate. I was impressed by its handmade. Everyone's like, well, is the ring cute or not? Like missing the point of the story. Dude, what if you
opened the picture and it was a picture of her asshole?
That'd be such a good prank. I opened it earlier, though. It's just a little I'm not going to open it fully because it's being weird. It's just a little silver ring with
with a little gem in it.
Just a little guy. Man,
that's a cute ring.
So embarrassing. It's a cute ring you got there. What a weird, like, you can't say stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't say things like that at the doctor's office.
Totally.
They're not going to be like, you have good breasts, you know?
Ooh, good breasts.
Yeah. And I know,
I see a lot of them.
Yeah.
And these are,
also it's
these are in the 20th percentile.
Yeah. It's funny too, because she assumed it was about her asshole ring. And she was like kind of in agreement. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's cute. Like, yeah.
It'll be even cuter soon.
I've bent over in front of a mirror before.
Yeah.
I know what I'm working with.
Man. That's it, really.
That's great.
I was going to see if there were some funny comments, but they're just...
Dude, my ex-boyfriend...
They're just like, that's not a cute ring.
Is it really that?
No.
Oh. This is similar to that time that I talked about on the pod where I was at the dermatologist.
Oh, yeah.
And
this is good.
He was like, you can put on this paper towel robe.
Yeah.
And I was like...
You can.
And I was I thought it was an option. And I was just like really comfortable being naked. And then he walks in, he was like, oh.
You're just sitting on the...
Or that one time he was like, you know how they have to check all of your body for like skin cancer?
Yeah.
There was one time I was sitting, this is a different appointment, different doctor, by the way. It didn't happen with the same guy. But I like had the top down because he was like looking at my like bubicle area.
Yeah.
And he was like talking to me about stuff. And then he's like, you can pull your shirt up. I was just sitting there tits out. And he was like, you can pull it up.
Man, that's
Can
so
you
funny.
please put your breasts away, ma'am?
Oh, man. I went to the doctor last week.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to get naked?
No. It was just a checkup. And I was talking to her about some other stuff. But she did regular checkup stuff. She was doing the whole like, stethoscope on your lungs.
Yeah.
Do it on the back. They're like, breathe in deeply, right? So I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, I want to ace this test with my lungs.
Dude, I feel that way
like,
too. Yeah. You're like, my piss is clear. I can do big, deep breaths.
How's that?
Are you impressed?
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm kind of sitting there like, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good
you're
at
like,
this. Never had a problem with this.
Imagine if she was like, great breath.
Yeah. But then what was really funny is like, she did that and it was all normal, right? And then she goes to the front of my chest, which is also normal, still breathing. And she's like, okay, breathe normally now. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like... I somehow like didn't hear her or didn't fully comprehend it. So I kept breathing like crazy for like 4 breaths. I was like...
And you're like, this is how I breathe normally.
And then in the middle of it, I was like, oh, I'm not breathing normally. And she's like, oh yeah. I was like, whoa, you're really breathing. She didn't correct me.
Yeah.
She noticed I kept breathing crazy.
Yeah.
But
God,
she just let me do it.
Funny.
It was funny.
Maybe she was like,
laugh. Yeah, I liked her. We would be friends if we cared to be, but we don't.
No, totally. Yeah. If it wasn't like weird to be friends with your doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one time I had to get a piss test for my Adderall. I was like talking to the lady and she was like, dude, like, are there going to be any drugs on this drug test? And I was like, oh, there might be like some weed, but they probably won't be. And like I do shrooms like every once in a while. So those might be there. And she's like, shrooms? What are shrooms?
Oh, you told me that.
Yeah. She's like, what are shrooms? And I was like, they're like psychedelic mushrooms.
She wasn't like old or anything.
No, she was like probably my age.
Yeah.
She was like, maybe like 30-year-old black woman.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are shrooms? And I was like, they're psychedelic mushrooms, but like some people do them to like, trip and like see God or whatever. But like the way that I do them, I take like a little bit. And she's like, what do they feel like? And I was like, I don't know. They feel like you're like a little bit drunk, I guess. Like kind of like, and she's like, oh, okay, cool.
Happy.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yeah.
That's so weird. She didn't know about them.
I know. Also, she was like a nurse.
Shrooms.
She was a nurse like getting my blood and stuff. She didn't know what shrooms were.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, good for you. You're probably like a really good kid or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's probably like alcohol,
Man. And then there was that other time at the doctor's where I don't think I told this on the pod, But remember when I was sick last year, a bunch?
Oh, yeah.
Or earlier this year. And for like 2 months, they couldn't figure out why I kept getting sick. So they were like doing all these tests and stuff. And I kept having appointments and being like, well, now I'm doing this. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last time I got sick, I actually only had, it was just food poisoning. And I knew that.
Oh, yeah.
But I had an appointment with the doctor and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure it's just food poisoning, but I was still sick last week. So like, this is never going to end or something. And I somehow said something to her that she misinterpreted as me thinking that the food poisoning killed my other illness. And then she corrected me and she was like, wait, are you saying you think you got food poisoning and that's why you're not sick? And I was like, no. Like, why would you? People think I think weird stuff like that all the time.
Well, Brittany, it's because you're not bad at communicating. You just do it in a really weird way sometimes.
I do. But I'm like, man, how many times have I not been correct? Like, they haven't brought it up and they just think I think that stuff.
Totally, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you go and you're like, there were too many birds at an apartment building near here.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, breathe normally. And you're like,
yeah.